Lightworkers Unite is a podcast and social show hosted by intuitive women, lightworkers, and most importantly, friends, Mayume and Manjeet. Welcome to our podcast, Lightworkers Unite, where we believe there is a lightworker within all of us.
Whether you are a medium, an educator, or a nuclear medicine technologist, there is a lightworker within you, and we have work to do.
This is a safe and sacred place where lightworkers connect, grow, and learn.
And share our light with the world. It's so, right? I mean, it's so...
I
so
muted
weird.
myself. Could you hear me say that? Okay. All of a sudden I muted myself. That was weird. Okay. You did hear me say that though, right?
I did. Yeah, that's why I was like, okay. Yeah, we do. Why do we do that?
Well, and it's not like, I mean, I thought about you every single day. And it was interesting how I was like, oh, I haven't talked to Manjeet. And then I'd be like, well, maybe I'll send her a text. And then I was like, oh, then I got caught up and busy. And then I kept thinking, well, she's busy. Because I did know it was your intuitive women's circles. But then I was like, oh, I should text her and see how it went. And then John had this surgery. And so next thing you know, it's like, after a while, I'm like, wow, I haven't talked to you. And then and then it just feels weird. I don't know.
It's so true. I felt the same way. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I get to talk to Mayume today. It's been 4 days, 5 days. Yeah. We're not good about that. I think that's what, and hopefully that's what the podcast is for, right? For our listeners. It's like we raise each other's vibration. It's like life can get really hectic. It can feel really stressful. But I just love like having that touchstone where I can just go, okay, this is really tough. This is hard. I'm not feeling great. Like, help me. Let's build up our energy and our that's what you do for me. So I don't like 5 days without talking.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Yeah. I was like, oh, this is weird. I haven't talked to Manjeet. That's so weird. So I'm like, I don't think I like it.
No.
But I was noticing a fall in my vibration. Right. And I thought, interesting. But again, it was stress related. I mean, we had interior painters in our house for 4 days.
Oh, wow.
And so shit was off the wall, it was all packed up and in boxes and just, windows open. It just was a mess. As John says in his Boston accent, it's a disaster. He kept saying, this place is a disaster. And it was. And then he had surgery. And so I was responsible for picking up and putting everything back. And it was just a lot. And not anything that I dislike doing, but it's just a time suck. So I noticed in my busyness of doing this that I was getting less, I wasn't connecting, I wasn't meditating, I wasn't talking to spirit. It was during a time where I didn't have readings because I had to block this time to work and take care of my husband. And so, I'm like, whoa, I felt a disconnect. I did talk to my beautiful friend, Julie Stevens, shout out to her in London. We had a Zoom call and she helped raise some of my vibration too, because we hadn't talked in a while and planning my trip to visit her. So that was good. But this is what I want to say. So talking to girlfriends to raise that up. Also, I noticed I did some painting and it was not free form painting. I was repainting signs that no longer match my decor.
Oh, wow.
I'm cracking myself up because we're like, shit, you changed the whole pattern of your house. We went from warm to cool. Oh. Now my furniture doesn't match shit. Like John and I were like,
oh no.
Our sectional doesn't match anymore. So now we're thinking all this. So I painted some signs, and painting makes me so happy. Like even thinking about painting. And I have a book here that I'm looking forward to reading just for fun, just purely for entertainment, not for, self-help learning, which I love those too. That makes me feel like I get giddy and excited to read. And then my writing, signed up for this weekly soul writing, daily affirmations because I love to journal, and I hadn't
Yeah.
been journaling the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And the thought of writing, painting, and reading makes me so giddy, like happy
I
inside.
love it.
Isn't that weird though? I mean, I thought to myself, I was very aware of it.
Yeah.
I need my girlfriends. I need to do these things, read,
Mm.
write, paint, creativity, which is what I'm about. I need to do that in order to feel good. So, anyway,
I
just
love
wanted
that. Well, and it's really a great, right, conversation because we're coming into the holiday season
Mhm.
where, people are feeling really, really stressed. I just got off a coaching call and she was like, I'm really just mad at everybody. Like I'm just done. Like I'm just, it was just so awesome because I feel like that feels like that energy right now with the holidays. Everything feels like it's coming at you. There's a
Yeah.
lot of stress, a lot of overwhelm. People are trying to travel to places that they don't know what the restrictions are
Yes.
anymore. Like
Right.
it's just a
Hmm.
really, and I love that because I just wanted to acknowledge, right? We want to say this is the holiday season and it is really unprecedented in the level and complexity of stress that we're going under. It's not like, it was almost like a little bit easier when things were just shut down because it was like, okay, nobody did,
Yeah. There was
I,
no
I
choice. There were
yeah,
no options. You didn't have to think about it. Yeah.
yeah. Whereas now it's kind of like, oh shit, what's
Yeah.
happening? What are they
Yeah.
doing? How are we gonna, get all that? Yeah. So
It's
I
so
just want
true.
to think that's really a powerful thing to just observe. Where are you feeling stress in your life right now? What are those things and how does it affect us, right? That
Yeah.
holiday stress right now, it's really, and we're not getting that sun energy, right? That
Oh, no
beautiful
shit.
cosmic energy. Does that affect you?
It's so funny. I don't mentally, like, I'm not aware of it or think about it that it does. So I don't really feel it that it does, but it must. How can it
Mm,
not? How can it not?
mm-hmm.
But I'm not one of those that says, "Oh my God, I hate this. I'm missing the sun." I kind of turn into a bit of a hermit and paint and write and read. So
Yeah.
part of me is like, ooh, hunkering down with the fire and a blanket. So I'm okay as long as I'm
Mm.
feeding my soul in other ways.
Ah,
But
it's a good
yes,
point.
vitamin D is it's a real thing. So, and it's a real thing here in the Pacific Northwest with the gray
Yes.
skies. My husband suffers from it big time. He gets angry. Like, I hate
Oh,
it here. This is where he wants to book tickets to Hawaii on
yeah.
the spur of the moment. So he needs that sunshine coming in. So
Mm,
yeah. But like most of
yeah.
us do, right? How do you feel? Do you need
Yeah.
it?
I definitely start really craving it around February. That's when I feel
Yeah.
like I've kind of met my like,
Limit.
okay, yeah, like I'm really, but I do like I'm like you. I kind of like hunkering in and I love an excuse to like cuddle up and read and, just be by the fire and have some quiet time to,
Yeah.
reflect or I also find this time of year very creative for me. So I'm creating all the workshops for the next year. I really
Ah.
feel a lot of inspiration during this time of year. And I
Yeah.
don't know, maybe it is like you were saying, I never really put that together until you said that it is really kind of like this forced relaxation and hunkering in. And so I really start projecting and I love planning. I love planning the
Yes.
year and kind of having some kind of general outline of what I'm going to be doing and, that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. So I find I get really, really productive in my
Mm.
business because I know like the new year is coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, but by about February, I'm ready. I'm like,
Ready for some
okay,
sun. Where can I get it?
let's go to Arizona. Let's go
Where,
hang out there for
yeah.
a while. Yeah.
Yeah. Like what's going on? Where can I get me some sun?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I think,
So coming off that, oh, go ahead. What were you going to say?
no, no, go ahead.
I was going to say, so coming off of that and noticing how I was feeling and noticing that I was getting kind of wrapped up in life, which is okay. That's part of, being human, but that I was missing that connection and like I
Mm,
wasn't meditating and my group has ended. So we take December off and we'll start in January. So I'm going to do some live meditations actually coming up. But I haven't been myself through this process of changing, the interior and my husband's surgery. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a disconnect, and I want to feel that flow again. And during the holidays, for me, yes, it is stressful, or it can be. And there's a lot of to dos and things to manage, and whether it's buying gifts for the extended family, my own family, baking cookies. We do that, planning the events of seeing
Mm-hmm.
lights and visiting and traveling, all that stuff that people are trying to manage. It can
Yeah.
be overwhelming, stressful during a time that's supposed to be relaxing and a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful time to connect, a beautiful time to kind of stop, take a moment to reflect and be grateful for this time of year. I love this season.
Yeah.
Music, Christmas music is already playing, and the
Yeah.
lights on the houses. My girls, they're very much very verbal about, oh, I can't wait for this, and oh, that makes me feel so good because it reminds me of this, and
Oh,
oh, the tradition. So they start looking forward to it, but they're also not the ones buying shit and
yeah.
and cooking
Mm-hmm.
and stuff. So, but they're going to help this year a lot more. But what I was going to say, and I'm just kind of rambling, is the generosity piece of this. It's not just, okay, give me your Christmas list and I'll buy something off of that, wrap it, and throw it under the tree so you can go, oh,
Mm-hmm.
thank you. I want it to be more thoughtful, more creative. And I really love during this time doing spontaneous acts of kindness. And you and I were
Mm.
talking about this. My high school girlfriends and I, probably about 5 years ago now, we stopped. We did a spur of the moment. There were six of us. Went to high school together at Cascade High School, woot woot, in Everett, and we randomly went on the streets. We pocketed some cash and some gift cards, and we just tried to find random people that needed some help. Maybe
Oh, I love
watch the
that.
family come out of the Target, or maybe we went down to the food bank to see people and offered them a gift card to Target for $100, to just really random things. We didn't have a plan. We didn't know. And we probably looked like weirdos standing around waiting for our families. I think people were a little scared and skeptical, like, what do you want? What are you doing?
Mhm.
But it was, and again, I'm trying not to come from a place of, it wasn't doing it for me so that I could feel good and watch this, unravel of, oh, we're helping people and look how good it feels. It was more of, how can we help in a way that's much more organic, I guess, or
Yeah.
authentic. And I know it's hard to do that. Most people should go through an organization. We didn't, because we wanted to have the human contact, that face to face of generosity, and
Mm.
not even expecting, a huge thank you. Just like, sometimes I just wanted to drop it in front of them without them knowing that I left it for them,
Yeah.
so they could find it and be like,
Yeah.
oh, like, so I don't know. I'm just trying to
Yeah.
think of some fun ways to have some spontaneous acts of kindness, so where we can maybe enjoy the season a little more and not get wrapped up in the stress and the to-do lists and all that. I don't know. What do you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah. No, and I love it because, you're talking about we started with stress, which is kind of this low vibration that can kind of consume us and make us kind of feel heavy and um, you know, lethargic even and overwhelmed, right? That
Yes.
energy. And you're kind of bringing in this energy of generosity to raise that vibration, right? And I just think it's really, really cool because generosity is the main quality of our next goddess gathering, which is
Yes,
Oshun,
it is.
right? She
Yes.
is the goddess of generosity. That's one of the things that she really wants to bring into our life is this concept that when we others, give to others, we are actually giving to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So like when we are offering, gifts to other people, and it doesn't have to be about money, right? It can
Right.
be just giving love, giving,
Yeah.
abundance in lots of other areas, right? Not
So
just
many other
money.
areas.
Yeah.
Right. Correct.
And I just think that's really cool because, what a powerful way to mitigate the stresses that we're feeling in this world right now. Then, just bringing in the possibility of where in my life am I ready to show generosity, not only to others, but I feel like to yourself. Like, where am I being generous to myself?
Mhm.
Where can Oshun really shine the light on feeding my soul again? Like, I love what you said earlier, like painting. Like, yeah, hunker in, do that stuff. Read the book. Like a hardcover book? Are you kidding me? Who reads a fucking book
Oh,
anymore? Like,
I know.
I love it.
Mhm.
I love it. I love it. So yeah, I just think, yeah, I'm thinking about your inquiry, like just spontaneous acts of kindness. I know my daughters were clearing out their closets, and there were a bunch of, some actually really cute clothes in there that they were giving away. And I was kind of like, what the hell, man? Do your kids do that? I'm like, what? Why are you donating this? You wore it 3 times. Oh
Yeah.
my God. Like,
Yes. Yes.
so bad. I know. So, but I was really thinking about that. Like, and I found there was online a really good friend of mine whose daughter was looking for some donations, and they're about the same size and age. And so it was kind of perfect. I just kind of went through the bag and pulled out all the really like stuff that's kind of really gross, and just like put them all in a bag. And there were some beautiful sweaters, some really nice pants. Um,
Yeah.
and just left him outside, and she came over and picked him up the other day, and I felt so great, like that I could give something. So, I mean, it wasn't difficult, and it didn't cost me any money. And the girls
Yeah.
actually felt really happy that they were like, yeah, okay, felt like they were contributing to
Yeah.
our community in a way that was quantitative and helpful
And
with
helpful. Yeah.
yeah. So
I
I
love
just,
that. That's great. It's
you
so
know,
important. And yeah, because think about all the great clothes. Yes, we could, I mean, we've done this too. I'm sure, like a lot of you guys out there, put a whole donation, a bunch of bags together, dropped them off at Goodwill, right? So that we can kind of purge and get it out of our energy field and out of our house, because to make room for more,
hmm
you have to do that. But it also sometimes it's, I think, a little better if we can really be sure that who is it going to, right? Be
hmm
sure of, like, is someone really going to wear this and use this, as opposed to it getting thrown into a big bucket and eventually hung out somewhere where people can buy
yeah,
it. I love the thought of donating clothes that I know that
yeah,
are good quality and still in
yeah.
great condition, and if someone else can get some use out of it. So was that for
Mhm.
her daughter, or was it her daughter running like a fundraiser for donations? Like,
No,
what
it
was?
was like for her daughter.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Like
Yes.
directly. Yeah. So it was just really cool. And people are struggling right now. People
Yeah.
are struggling for lots of different reasons. And so whatever we feel called to do, and I think that's kind of when I really tap into like Oshun, that goddess energy, I really feel that like it's not just like it's really about giving just with your
Yeah.
whole heart first, right? It's like saying, here, this is a way for me to show up on the planet and give, to
Hmm.
others without resistance.
Yeah.
There's so it's just like releasing that into the universe. And I really feel that way about I actually coach a lot of people about this, like a lot of metaphysical practitioners that are really struggling with like charging for their services.
Yes. Let's talk
you
about
know
that. Yeah.
and it's very natural for people
Hmm.
to feel like, oh, I feel kind of sticky, like charging for these things.
Hmm.
But I think that's where Oshun says the more we give to others, the more we're going to receive. So like
Yeah.
that's why I love paying other coaches and other metaphysical practitioners for services, because I know that abundance it just quadruples. It just keeps going and going and
That's right.
going, so that
Yeah.
I'm worth that, $100 Reiki session, because that abundance, it opens the channel of giving and receiving in the
Yes.
universe. Just,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, I completely agree. And I believe in that so much that
Mm.
I mean, I think it'll resonate with you, or you'll feel it if it's something that you're not supposed to charge for. But and
Yeah.
even myself, when I started my business, it was hard to
Yeah.
be like, oh gosh, do I really want to charge people when I want to give it to them for free? And
Hmm.
but it's true. It is the value of it. It is the give and the receiving. It's back and forth. It's the trading. It's the bartering. It's
Yeah.
sharing that abundance, and honoring and the value that we are providing, whether it's a service or our time, our energy, our
Yeah.
gifts. So generosity to me, I believe, is a type of vibration that once you're in it, it does offer, it comes back to you, I mean, tenfold.
Yeah.
We can
Yeah.
give whatever it is freely with no attachment to outcome, like we
Hmm.
mentioned, and not doing it coming from a place of, oh, look at what I did, I just provided all these
Yeah.
donations.
Yeah.
It's not about that. It's about, I really feel like I can help this person, or help these people, help this organization in whatever form. And I know that if I do that, unselfishly give, that the universe will in turn provide for me so that I can
Yeah.
continue helping and giving to others. It just,
Yeah.
that's what the universe and spirit wants,
Yeah.
I think.
I love that. And I think I don't know, just for our goddess gathering that's coming up, geez, what day is that?
December 15th.
15th. Yeah, 6:30. I kind of feel like if you are a practitioner of some kind and you do have some
Mm.
blocks around your work and charging and those kinds of things, this I feel like Oshun is your goddess. I
Yeah.
feel like
Let's
that
bring her in. Yeah.
it's feeling like she really wants to talk to the light workers out there that are you know being in service to the universe and the consciousness, and evolving our light worker abilities in the world, where we kind of feel some resistance and reservation around maybe even paying for other services or charging, because
Yeah.
that flow of energy wants to just quadruple. Like you said, it's like four times the energy. Once you give, you're opening up to all of that energy to receive even more. But if that's clearly our intention, I think that's what Ocean really wants us to do. She's just a really powerful entity, and she's really associated with love, healing, fertility, and water. So like Ocean, I always think of the
The
ocean, obviously,
ocean.
right?
I
Like
know. I thought so too. Yeah. Yeah. And the
I just
river. Isn't she the
mhm.
river goddess? Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that's interesting because I've always kind of, and you've heard me say this in a previous podcast, with the flow of life, where sometimes I kind of
Mm,
visualize me in the on the river of life floating. There's
yes.
bends and curves and rapids, and but if I let go and just trust, I will float and let the current take me, and just really
Mm,
trust that the life, flow is meant to carry me where I need to go. So when I bring in Oshun, and when we are tapping into her energy, I'm brought to a river, and it's almost like I'm a raft floating here, and I see all these abundance of things on top of me that I throw into the river, and
mm,
kind of give it to the river, the flow of life, and it's like the river takes those items, whether it's monetary items, service, time. It carries that and delivers them where they need to go. But I just have to be willing to release it and let go and
mm,
say, here you go. I'm going to give you my time. I'm going to give you my hug, my love, my smile, my hello, my opening the door, my donations, my money. I
mhm.
do just feel like I'm willing to give, because if the more abundance that I have, and some people feel like, oh, I need abundance, and I'm going to kind of hold on to my abundance for fear
Yeah.
of like running out. I feel like this river that she's given me, this visual is like, no, I'm floating and almost like I'm the raft and just letting it, dropping it all into the river and
Mm.
allowing the universe to take care of it,
Yeah,
to
I
get it
love
to
it.
where it needs to go. So I don't know. It's interesting that I love the river, and the flow of it. So just letting any fear release behind any fear behind my abundance, I guess. Am I
Yeah.
giving too much money? And if I do give all this, where does that leave me? Can I still pay the
Yeah.
bills? Can I still buy for my own family? Because people are like,
Mm.
I'm going to take care of my family first and then I'll give. And I just really feel like the universe says, we will take care of you.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't
and I
know.
think it's important to make that distinction though, right? Like Ocean isn't saying give your money away and live in poverty. Like, right? She's saying,
Right. No.
she's saying, where in your heart, where in your life can you be generous with your heart, be generous with your time, be generous with money, but also be generous in assisting others, be generous in just random acts of kindness. Those have a lot of value, you know,
Yeah.
not just the monetary. That feels like it's just one little piece of what
That's just
Ocean
one.
is saying,
Yeah.
right?
Tiny
Like giving
piece.
the money, but there's just so much she's saying. Like even over the holidays, just really like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5ing it, right? Like when you're really stressed, stop, breathe, analyze, maybe ask yourself the question, where who needs my attention right now, right? Who needs my attention? Where can I give
Where can I
um,
serve? Yeah.
assistance to somebody? And maybe it is just calling somebody and talking to them on the phone. Then you can make that decision and say, I haven't talked to my aunt in a long time, and she's probably really lonely and can't travel. Maybe I'm just going to call her up and spend, that 10 minutes in conversation with her to let
Yeah.
her know that you're being generous with your time and your compassion. Because she'll feel it. She'll feel it, you know?
I love it. I
Yeah.
think that I love that, and I think that might be something we can share with our listeners, and maybe give you light workers out there this little piece of not homework per se, but like a development
Challenge.
practice or challenge. There we go. Yeah, like a challenge. I like that. Just maybe in this next week before the next podcast,
Hmm.
where in your heart, where in your life can you open up to a random or spontaneous act of kindness and whatever that you're willing to give? And again, it doesn't have to be monetary, and it could be time. Maybe it's a phone call. Maybe it's giving someone attention that they didn't receive from you recently, or a smile at the grocery store. Although you'd have to remove your mask to do that, but
Yeah. I know.
smile
I
with
know.
your
It's so
eyes.
funny.
Smile with your eyes.
We're so
Open the
dated.
door for, I know, open the door for somebody.
Yeah.
Maybe taking that extra step to say, how can I just serve someone and somehow now
Mhm.
graciously with kindness.
Yeah.
I just think give yourself a little assignment, like where can I find a way to do something different? So something that you haven't done before, something unique, see what resonates with you. And in this week's time, in the next 7 days, absolutely set the intention that you will serve someone, give a little of yourself, of
Yeah.
what you can to someone, and
Yeah.
don't be attached to the outcome. Just
Yeah.
do it, and then share with us what you've done.
I
I'd love,
love that. I would love to hear that. Yeah, it's so funny because I mean, and maybe even this week, right? Just thinking about, maybe where you are being generous and don't know it. Like,
right.
I think this is a really great time to do that reflection to go, wow, I really do that. And like own that shit, own that
Mm-hmm.
I do have a generous heart and I do invoke this beautiful ocean of kindness, in most things that I do. Um, I know I'm a real stickler. I always have been of returning my grocery cart. Like, in
Yes.
my
Yeah.
groceries, right? This just came to mind. And I always go like the extra like fucking 20 feet or 40 feet or whatever and put it like where it's supposed to be.
Yes.
And now that my daughter works at the QFC, her job as a little courtesy clerk is to pick up all those fucking carts all over
Yeah.
the god forsaken fucking parking lot. And
Right?
I remember you know, when she came home the other day, she was just like, I'm always like, it's just so nice when people put their fucking cart back. Like it just makes
Mm-hmm.
my job so much easier.
Right?
And I was like, wow, it was just like totally like, oh,
A
I'm
different
really glad I've been
perspective.
doing that for
Yes.
so long because
Me too, sister. Raise
here's
my,
my
I do it
daughter.
too. Yep.
I
I
mean, and
love
those
it.
things are heavy, and she's like a little
Yeah.
girl, but she's out
Uh-huh.
there in the rain and pushing those fucking carts around.
That's
I just
right.
thought it was so interesting. Like when she came home and just kind of sharing, like, I just really appreciate that. Like, I just think that's just so nice because, you know, people are busy and there's nothing wrong with that. Like sometimes when I had my little girls,
Yeah.
I'd strap them in the car and I'd be like, I can't leave them. So I'm walking
Yes.
the car and I'm trying to run, so there's giving yourself some grace there, but I always get it to like where it's not in the middle of the fucking road. That's all I'm
That's
saying.
right. That's
Yeah.
all.
It's just really funny.
Those little things.
I was just thinking like where in your life are you really just showing up with
Yeah.
that generous heart and I think even remembering those things and writing them down and being reflective that can also raise our vibration during this
Yes.
really stressful time, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
there's something in the air right now. The energy out there right now is, do you feel that? I mean, am I like, I feel like all my clients, everybody that I'm talking to, it just feels heavier than normal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
feels like more stress. It feels really weighted. Oh, I have to take a
Yeah.
deep breath and I tap into the like energy out there. Yeah.
It feels like a weighted blanket, those big, heavy
Yes.
ass weighted. It feels like it's laying on top of us, and we're still trying to live life and muster and do the normal things. But
Mm.
like, fuck, this blanket is harder to
Yes.
move. I'm not. It's heavy. So removing that weighted
Mhm.
blanket so I can feel lighter and I can
Yeah.
do more and I can move. It's an energy. And I felt that last week. And I was hearing from a couple of my own clients and friends that were
Yeah.
saying, weird shit is happening and what's going on. And
Mm.
and maybe it's a transition of weather and climate. It's a transition of energy of the holidays. I mean, maybe it's a transition of
Yeah.
just finishing Thanksgiving and moving into Christmas, the holiday
Yeah.
or Hanukkah. I mean, that's all of this that we
Mm-mm.
are opening since we didn't really have it last year.
Mm-hmm.
Very locked down and closed. So
Yeah.
this year it's starting to open up and it is a time of transition and trying to manage what that looks like and feels good for us because not
Yeah.
everyone's going to come back. Some people are
Yeah.
saying, nope, I'm not ready yet. There's another variant out there. Nope,
Yeah.
I'm not vaxxed. And nope, I don't trust. Nope, I don't want to be out there.
And
And so
yeah.
they're still going to hunker in.
Yeah.
And then there's those that are saying, well, fuck that shit. I can't. I'm getting out there. I'm seeing my family, damn it. And I'm going to go
Yeah.
shopping in the mall and listen to Christmas music and drink hot cocoa. I'm going to get out there and see the
Oh,
world. And so, wherever you
yeah.
feel, and if you're in the middle, like, yes, I'm choosing to see certain people. And then some I'm still going to manage my life and be conscientious. So whatever resonates with you is okay, but it is a
Yeah.
weird transitioning time. So you can
Yeah.
still okay, I just thought of this. So Dana, my youngest, she has ADHD, which some of you guys know and some don't probably, and she probably would hate the thought that I'm even talking about it. But it's not a bad thing. I know there's always this negative connotation, with ADHD, this
Mhm.
disorder, quote unquote, but it's really quite fascinating. We're learning so much. John and I have, under our own coach, who is helping us
Mhm.
help her. Well, one of the things that
Love
they
it.
mention is the book of positives.
Mm.
I'd never heard of this, and I always thought, kind of like a journal of gratitude, gratitude journal. This is something that you do for each child. And it could be as simple as a pack of papers that are stapled together, or you could go buy a journal. But each day you write down a positive thing that your child did that you want to acknowledge. And
Aw.
it could be one a day, it could be maybe five things you notice, but at the end of the day, they have something that they can reflect and read about how well they're
Mm.
doing, especially for some ADHD kiddos or people really operate with encouragement and not
Yeah.
criticism, right? Some
Yes.
people are motivated by criticism, John Corelli, and some people are males, type A, or
Yeah.
like, who are in sales are motivated by fear and all that shit. So, but our sweet little 14-year-old daughter
Dying.
is motivated by
Mhm.
encouragement. And we learned this in ADHD kiddos even more so, like 10 times
Oh
more
yeah, I
need it.
believe it.
So
Mhm.
I was thinking, oh my gosh, but how many people would really benefit from this? Not just kiddos
Mhm.
with ADHD. Because hello, if my husband had a little thing that he was writing down all the positive things that he noticed that I did or said, or just was grateful for something I've
Oh, yeah.
done, and I got to read that at night, I thought I think the world needs more encouragement. So the
Mm.
generosity umbrella, I was thinking, let's be
Yeah.
generous with our words, with
Mm.
our acknowledgments, with our compliments, with encouragement,
Yeah.
maybe sending someone just, you know what, I'm just so grateful and thankful for you. Thank you so much
Mm.
for being my friend. Thank you so much for helping me. Thank you so much for, uh, coming to my house and moving furniture. Whatever it is, I think encouragement and
Yeah.
acknowledgement is a form of generosity. So be
Oh
generous
yeah.
with your words.
I love
That was
it.
a really long explanation, but for the book of
That's
positives.
great. I love it. Well, what really came to me when you were saying that was yes, I love the challenge of like reaching out to one person till the end of the year, right? And just sending them a text message to say, "Hey, I love you. I've been thinking about you." I have a friend of mine who does that often. I don't see her all the time, but every now and again, she'll say, "I don't know if you need to hear this today, but I love you."
I love
And
that.
I love her for that. I just love that she does that, right? Just like randomly. And I'm like, I haven't heard from you
Yeah.
in like 3 months, but for whatever reason, I'm on her
Yep.
radar, and
Radar.
9 times out of 10, it is something that oh, it just puts a smile on my face. It just makes my whole day brighter. And then then we start sending some like goofy memes and shit, and it just raises that vibration and just really, she's so generous with her heart and her
With her
words in those
heart.
moments.
See?
Yeah. That's
I
my beautiful
love
friend,
that.
Lynette. Yeah. She's such a sweet, sweet soul.
Oh,
I know. I
yeah.
love that. But I also feel that it's a really, really powerful opportunity to be gracious and kind with words to yourself.
Yes.
Like maybe at the end of the night or during the day, you could write down some things about how you are being generous and how you are kind and that you are a really powerful person and that it's okay to feel stress and that maybe, today was a shitty day, but today I did my best. I did the best I could, you
That's
know.
right.
And
That's
kind
right.
of hearing yourself say those words to yourself and generosity in the embrace of Oshun, right? This beautiful goddess. Ah, oh, I just love that.
Yeah. I love that too.
I'm feeling her so hard right now.
Well, and for those of you guys who haven't joined us yet, I know it's smack in the middle of the holiday season. We know that it's right in the middle of
Mhm.
December, but it
That
is.
was
It's Wednesday, December 15th, which by the time this podcast airs will be in 2 days. And so we're
mhm.
hoping, maybe I'll get this out a little earlier,
Yeah.
hoping that you'll join us. We have 10 seats for 10 beautiful souls, that
Yeah.
women who want to join us to connect with Oshun, the goddess of generosity. And
Yeah.
let's talk about that, because I do believe that this will empower, inspire, and bring abundance to your life just
Yeah.
by coming from a place of generosity.
Yes, yes. Especially,
Yes.
for yourself. Like this is almost like, I mean, it's so interesting that we picked her for December because it feels like a gift to yourself. Like you
Yeah.
being generous to yourself to like have this 90 minutes with these beautiful, other women, and just like receive, receive, receive. Like she just wants to give you so much love, this ocean
Mhm.
goddess energy, right? It feels like it does. It feels like an ocean of
It does.
energy and
Of,
love, like just
yeah. Yeah.
overflowing. Like it's and she's just gorgeous, gorgeous energy. I'm really glad that we're having her come in December because, like I said, the energy this month has been really chaotic a bit. It's been a kind of heavy. So just carving out this
Yeah.
time, even for me, I feel like is really a gift. So I can't
Mhm.
wait to see you all there. This is, oh, these goddess gatherings are just the shit.
They're so fun. So fun. And I think the ladies that have come, we have some regulars that really love to come just to connect with each other and with us and
Yeah,
receive the readings because we
yeah,
really do. And it's super fun, Manj. But you and I bring in this energy, the entity, we bring in the goddess,
mm,
we channel her and provide readings for all those that attend. So if this is
yep,
something that interests you, you got to come check it out. It's authentic, it's
yeah,
organic. We do really, I think, acknowledge ritual and ceremony, with the
yeah,
candles and an invocation. And there's usually food or wine or a sound that's associated with the specific goddess of choice. So this
yeah.
month, December 15th, goddess Oshun,
Mm,
which is Oshun, correct?
yeah,
Yeah.
you got it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. She's something
Oshun.
else.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's really,
Mm.
really powerful. She's really connecting. Like, it's really interesting. I'm seeing her really clearly in her power, and it's weird because she has this like beautiful in her heart chakra. It's like a river, a circle,
Yeah.
like a river right there. It's like a portal. Like
Mm.
she's just wants to connect with your heart chakra. Like she's
Wow.
building these little rivers of connection between all of us. So I just if you're open and you're ready to receive these gifts, just join us. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Love
Awesome.
it.
Love it. Love it. I
Well,
love you. Okay. We
thank you
did
for
it.
raising my
Ah,
my vibration today, my
oh,
sister. Thank you, thank you. I
right
needed
back
that.
at you. I needed
And
it
if
too. Thank you.
anybody else is feeling that lower kind of vibration right now, that stress, hopefully that you can walk away with some strategies to get yourself out of that. But also acknowledge that it's okay that we're all kind of feeling this way. I'm be curious if people wanted to post that if they're feeling this as well. Like I feel like in my world, I'm seeing a lot of this heaviness and this kind of like stress, kind of weird chaotic energy.
Mhm.
I'd be really curious if you could, please post. Let us know. Is
Let
it
us know. And as you do, acknowledge that. And then how are you going to switch it up with an act of kindness
mm,
to bring in generosity so that
yes.
maybe we could get that weighted blanket off of us
Yeah.
and start moving into a high vibration of giving
Mm,
and yeah.
I
So yeah,
love it.
I'm excited. All right. Good
Oh,
job,
thank you, my
man.
sister.
Love you so much.
Mwah.
Thanks everyone for listening. And yeah, we'll see
You're
you next week.
you're not alone. We're in this together. We'll get through it. So
Yes, we
much love
are.
to you all. Namaste.
Bye, Lightworkers. Namaste.
Bye.
Bye.